Do not speak of what happens after you hear this. Keep it to yourself. Prosperity hates noise. Wealth is born in silence. The moment you tell others what is forming within you, their doubt becomes your delay. So promise me this. When the results begin, tell no one. Just smile and keep listening. You're about to enter a state few men ever reach, a place between sleep and awareness where the mind is open, receptive, and undefended. In that quiet space, suggestion becomes law. Whatever you hear there takes root in your subconscious, and the subconscious never argues. It only obeys. That is why this must be done in silence. You cannot share what the seed looks like before it becomes a tree. Talk too soon, and you rob yourself of power. Remain still, and the law begins to move for you. What you are about to learn is not positive thinking, it is mental engineering. While the body rests, the mind will work. While you sleep, your thoughts will align with the exact rhythm that attracts opportunity, ideas, and wealth. This is not superstition. It is law. The subconscious mind is the connection between you and infinite intelligence, the same force that inspired Edison, Ford, and Carnegie. They all understood this, that prosperity is not achieved, it is attracted, not chased, commanded. Every fortune begins in the same invisible workshop, the organized, focused, silent mind. When you align your thoughts with faith, gratitude, and purpose, the universe responds as precisely as gravity. So before you close your eyes, release every thought of worry, every fear of tomorrow, every doubt about money. You cannot hold fear and faith in the same mind. You must choose. And tonight you will choose faith. Faith that the world is rich. Faith that opportunity is infinite. Faith that you are ready. Now, listen closely. The reason most men remain poor is not because they lack work, but because they lack quiet. They scatter their energy with talk, comparison, and complaint. They chase advice, tell everyone their goals, and drain the very power that could have created them. You must be different. You must learn to create in silence and act with precision. When others ask what you are doing, smile. When they question your calm, smile again. Because the moment you explain your faith to the faithless, you begin to doubt it yourself. This is why I say, tell no one about the results. They will not understand, and their misunderstanding will infect your faith. The most dangerous contagion in the world is the disbelief of others. Protect your belief like treasure. Speak only where faith is mutual, within your mastermind. Beyond that, say nothing. Now, as you drift deeper into rest, understand that you are not falling asleep. You are entering the laboratory of creation. Every word you hear will become instruction for your subconscious. It will record these truths, repeat them, and execute them while you sleep. You will wake tomorrow and notice something subtle, a new calm, a new clarity, a quiet confidence that feels as though someone else is guiding you. That is not illusion. That is law beginning to act. The same law that moves tides, seasons, and stars has now begun to move through your affairs. You will feel guided toward ideas, people, and opportunities that match your thoughts. Money will begin to flow more easily, not because of luck, but because you have stopped resisting it with fear. Prosperity does not chase, it responds. When your inner state changes, your outer life must obey. This is why I tell you to keep silent. The seed of wealth must grow in darkness. The mind, when focused, becomes magnetic, but when scattered by discussion, the energy weakens. Talk dilutes power, silence concentrates it. Every fortune begins with unspoken conviction. Tonight you will let go of striving. You will stop chasing, stop forcing, stop worrying. You will allow the mind to do its true work, to connect with the infinite. The greatest ideas come not from struggle, but from stillness. That is why the rich seem calm. Their minds are disciplined. You must learn to think as they think. The poor man says, "When I see results, I'll believe." The rich man says, "Because I believe, the results must appear." That one reversal of thought separates scarcity from abundance. It turns work into flow, waiting into faith, hope into evidence. The law is this: whatever you impress upon your subconscious with emotion and repetition must express itself outwardly. You have impressed fear for years, and it has obeyed. Now you will impress certainty, and it will obey again. So as you listen tonight, do not try to analyze or argue. Let the words flow into you as water fills a vessel. The conscious mind sleeps. The subconscious absorbs. Every sentence becomes a seed, and the harvest will appear as money, opportunity, confidence, and peace. When you rise in the morning, act as though it has already worked, because it has. Walk with the confidence of one who knows something the world does not. The world will call it luck. You will know it as law. Guard your new state of mind as you would guard gold. Do not expose it to skepticism. Protect your peace. The mind that doubts one day and believes the next cancels its own power. You must become unwavering. You must live as though the thing desired already belongs to you. Act as if you already possess abundance. Speak as one who commands results. Carry yourself as one who no longer fears the future. The universe responds to that posture. Infinite intelligence cannot deny conviction. Each night, listen again. Each night, strengthen the pattern. Each night, let silence shape success. Repetition builds faith, and faith builds reality. Soon, others will notice the change, the calm in your eyes, the certainty in your tone, the quiet assurance that success is inevitable. But remember your promise. Tell no one. When they ask what you are doing differently, you will smile. When they guess and gossip, smile again. The moment you speak of it, you invite their opinions, and opinions are poison to creation. Let them see your fruits, not your roots. Let the results speak for you. A tree does not announce its growth. It simply appears in strength when the season turns. This is how prosperity comes, quietly, steadily, inevitably. You will wake one day and realize that what once seemed impossible is now ordinary. The struggle will have vanished, replaced by order and faith. You will trace it back to nights like this, when you chose silence over seeking approval, faith over fear, law over luck. So before you drift into rest, repeat these words quietly to yourself. I am at peace. I am rich in thought. I am aligned with the law of increase. Prosperity moves through me with ease. I am grateful, and I tell no one. Let the words echo until they no longer sound like hope, but truth. Let them sink so deeply that even in your dreams, your mind repeats them. For the subconscious never sleeps, and the law never fails. Now close your eyes. Let go of every worry, every plan, every thought of how your only work tonight is to believe. Everything else is being arranged for you. Sleep in faith, rise in prosperity, speak to no one, and watch how quietly the miracle unfolds. Part 1. The Silent Law of Increase. Why prosperity hides from noise. Prosperity dwells in silence. All things that endure are born in quiet. Noise may impress the crowd, but it never builds the universe. Every law of creation, growth, increase, expansion, moves without sound. The seed splits beneath the soil. The tide shifts upon the shore. The dawn appears without trumpet or applause. Prosperity, too, loves stillness. You must come to understand this. The universe does not respond to speech, but to vibration. Not to chatter, but to conviction. The man who talks of wealth before he has organized his mind for it disperses his power like scattered light. But the man who keeps faith within himself, who guards his thought with silence, turns that same light into fire. There are two kinds of men in this world, those who announce their plans and those who create quietly. The first live for admiration, the second live for achievement. The first need witnesses, the second require only will. The first lose their energy explaining, the second gain it through concentration. One becomes an echo, the other becomes a cause. The man who boasts of what he will do dilutes the very energy required to do it. His words become a release, not a reinforcement. Every plan spoken too soon loses power, for energy once expressed must rebuild itself. That is why the wise keep silent in the season of growth and speak only when the fruit is ripe. Most men fail because they seek recognition before results. They plant a seed of desire and then, impatient for approval, uproot it to show others. In doing so, they destroy the root system of faith. They have mistaken validation for victory, and when their plan withers, they blame fate instead of their own indiscretion. The law is clear. Everything of value grows unseen first. Roots before fruit, faith before fortune, stillness before success. The greatest achievements of man have always begun in the invisible. Before the bridge was built, it existed in the mind of the engineer. Before the fortune appeared, it was shaped by the silent vision of the dreamer. This is the law of silent formation. It states that the greater the destiny, the longer the silence before its appearance. The farmer does not call his neighbors to watch the seed grow. He trusts the soil to do its work. Likewise, you must trust your own thought soil. Speak less, believe more. Look to nature. The oak spends years deepening its roots before it stretches its branches. The rivers carve silently through stone before the world notices their strength. Even the stars are silent, though they move entire worlds. The lesson is clear. The louder the effort, the weaker the faith. Early exposure of an idea to doubt is fatal. Each time you explain your vision to one who cannot see it, you invite the infection of disbelief. Their doubt seeps into your soil, and the energy of belief evaporates. Your subconscious, once sure, begins to question. And what the mind questions, it cannot command. That is why the great builders of industry learn to protect their dreams until ready. Henry Ford, during his early experiments, told almost no one of his plan to create a car for the masses. His neighbors mocked him for tinkering in barns, but he spoke little and built much. By the time the world noticed, his silence had already become an empire. Thomas Edison spent endless nights in solitude, perfecting ideas no one yet understood. He did not seek applause for the 1,000 failures between discoveries. He knew the seed of genius required the darkness of solitude. The light bulb did not emerge from noise, but from silence so deep that inspiration could be heard. Talking of plans invites resistance. The moment you share your aim, every weak mind around you begins to measure it, question it, shrink it to their size. Soon you find yourself defending what should have been protected. Debate replaces faith. Explanation replaces execution. The plan, once alive, dies in discussion. Silence is not withholding. It is protection. It is the wall around the temple of faith. Inside that temple, creation is sacred. Speak only where belief is mutual, and even then, speak sparingly. For words are tools of communication, but silence is the instrument of creation. Wealth comes not to those who shout, but to those who listen. The universe whispers direction. Only the silent hear it. Prosperity has rhythm, a pulse that cannot be detected in noise. When the mind is still, it feels that rhythm and aligns with it. When it is loud, it misses every signal. Men chase riches through noise, meetings, boasts, gossip, schemes. They mistake motion for movement, but motion without direction is drift. Only the silent thinker whose energy is organized within moves toward purpose. The rest exhaust themselves in activity and call it ambition. The man who learns to work in silence becomes unshakable. His actions surprise others because they did not see the preparation. His progress seems sudden, but it was the result of long, quiet focus. He speaks when results are undeniable, not when they are uncertain. He becomes a mystery to the world because his faith is invisible. When you speak of your purpose too early, you hand control to the crowd. Their disbelief becomes your burden. Their opinions become your prison. Keep your direction between you and infinite intelligence. Speak only to those whose faith strengthens yours, never to those who weigh dreams against logic. You must build the habit of inner privacy. Before each action, ask yourself, does this strengthen my silence or weaken it? Each time you refrain from boasting, you store energy. Each time you resist explaining, you grow power. Each time you stay still when others demand proof, you increase faith's charge within you. When your silence is full, speech becomes command. Your words, once rare, will carry authority. People will listen, not because you demand it, but because you speak from certainty. Quiet faith creates magnetic tone. Others feel truth even before they understand it. I have watched men who could move crowds with few words. Their influence did not come from volume, but from vibration. They had disciplined their thought to such focus that even a whisper carried power. Their speech had weight because their silence had depth. Let this be your aim, to build such inward strength that you no longer need to convince anyone. You will act, and your results will convince for you. You will plan, and life will respond. You will no longer waste time seeking approval. You will give yourself permission through decision. Say within, I create in silence, and life rewards me quietly. Speak this with calm conviction each day. As you repeat it, you will feel the mind grow peaceful, focused, firm. The chatter of doubt will fade, and a quiet assurance will take its place. Then whisper, my faith needs no witness. My results will speak. Imagine your results forming like fruit unseen in the dark orchard of your mind. You will feel the sweetness of increase even before it ripens. That feeling is proof of law at work. And when the noise of the world tempts you, when others demand to know your plans, your progress, your goals, smile gently and say nothing. Protect the life within your silence, for faith, once exposed to ridicule, withers under its gaze. Repeat finally, I protect my growing wealth by keeping peace within. Let these words become your shield against noise, gossip, and comparison. Peace is power concentrated, disturbance is power dispersed. You will notice that as you practice this law, people begin to treat you differently. They will feel your calm but not understand it. They will ask, what changed? You will answer with a smile, for you owe no explanation. The moment you explain, you begin to lose what you gained. Silence becomes your armor. It separates you from the common noise of mediocrity. It turns your energy inward, sharpening thought into will and will into result. Others may laugh at your stillness now, but they will one day call it genius. When Henry Ford was ridiculed for his dream, he answered not with debate but with demonstration. When Edison's peers doubted his patience, he worked on through the night. The great always choose silence over argument. They let time prove what words cannot. Let your results speak your story. Let your success announce your faith. Let your calm become your testimony. For silence has always been the first sound of greatness. By practicing this law, you enter the rhythm of creation itself. Just as the universe expands without noise, so will your prosperity. Quietly, certainly, inevitably. Before you rest tonight, remind yourself that what you hold within is sacred. Speak of it to no one. Whisper your desires only to the infinite. Then close your eyes and let the silence work for you. Part 2. The Night Workshop of the Mind. How the subconscious creates while you sleep. The day belongs to effort. The night belongs to creation. What you do while awake may shape appearances, but what happens while you sleep shapes destiny. Sleep is not rest alone. It is construction. The conscious mind may tire, but the subconscious never ceases to labor. It takes the plans you impress upon it and begins to arrange conditions, summon opportunities, and weave circumstances in harmony with your dominant thought. Most men end their days as they began them, thinking by habit, worrying by reflex, speaking of limitation until even their dreams echo with fear. They fall asleep repeating the language of doubt, and their subconscious, obedient to command, spends the night arranging new proof of lack. Then they awaken weary, not from work, but from inner conflict. They say they rested, yet their mind labored in confusion. The wise man retires each night not in exhaustion, but in faith. He knows that the last thought before sleep becomes the blueprint for creation. The mind is a workshop. The materials are ideas. Whatever you hand to it in the final hour, it multiplies while you rest. The next day you meet in your world the things you planted in your mind the night before. Understand this truth. The subconscious is the bridge between your finite intelligence and infinite intelligence. It connects you with the universal storehouse of ideas. Whatever you impress upon it with emotion, it translates into physical form. It knows no limitation. It cannot distinguish between truth and falsehood. It accepts only repetition and belief. That is why faith works miracles and fear works disasters. Each is believed deeply, and the subconscious obeys both. There is a law at work here, the law of mental continuity. Whatever occupies your final thought before rest becomes the pattern your subconscious builds upon through the night. If you fall asleep worrying about debt, it continues to plan for debt. If you fall asleep in gratitude for increase, it organizes your unseen affairs for increase. The mind must continue in motion. It is your duty to guide that motion toward prosperity. I say to you, Do not close your eyes with complaint on your lips. You are programming the divine builder to create more of what you despise. The subconscious does not question. It only constructs. You must therefore become a master architect of thought before you enter the temple of rest. Each night before sleep, review your thoughts as a king inspects his guard. Ask, what ideas stand watch at the gate of my mind? If fear stands there, remove him. If resentment lingers, dismiss him. Then appoint new guards, faith, gratitude, purpose, and let them keep watch as you descend into slumber. For what guards the gate determines what enters the castle. Repeat quietly to yourself, while I sleep, my mind builds prosperity. Do not say it as a wish, say it as law, for it is law. Every inventor, every builder of empire, every dreamer who turned thought into gold has used this same process, though few could explain it. The subconscious is the invisible workshop where all fortune is forged. Andrew Carnegie understood this. Each night before sleep, he wrote his aims and left them to his mind to solve. He would often awaken with the very answer that had eluded him through hours of conscious strain. He trusted the silent worker within to finish what his waking thought could not. This was his nightly communion with infinite intelligence. It was in these unseen hours that his empire of steel was organized. Thomas Edison mastered the same principle. When an idea escaped him, he would rest in half sleep, holding the question lightly in mind. Upon waking, the answer would appear complete. He knew that imagination works best when consciousness is relaxed. The inspiration men call genius is but the subconscious fulfilling its nightly duty. Your task is not to struggle through every problem while awake, but to plant the right seed before sleep. The mind works best when the tension of effort is gone. Faith is the true foreman of the night shift. Worry only dismisses the workers. Faith directs them. Say within yourself, infinite intelligence works while I am still. Feel those words until they become calm certainty. The mind that truly knows this sleeps deeply, wakes refreshed, and finds its affairs unfolding smoothly. You will begin to sense ideas appearing as if from nowhere, answers arising without strain, paths opening without force. These are not coincidences. They are the quiet results of organized thought. The reason most men wake weary is that they have not learned to dismiss their mental machinery. They attempt to sleep while clutching fear, and so their energy churns through the night like an engine without rest. The wise man lays down his burdens before sleep as a laborer lays down tools. He trusts that infinite intelligence will continue the work. Before you close your eyes, speak this gently. I release all care. I have done my part today. Infinite intelligence now does the rest. You will feel the tension melt from your mind. Fear will lose its grip. The subconscious will take your calm as instruction that all is well, and it will organize your world accordingly. Let me make this plain. Your last 5 minutes before sleep are the most sacred minutes of your day. They determine the quality of your night and the character of your morning. Spend them wisely. Fill them with thoughts of prosperity, health, peace, and gratitude. Refuse to end the day in complaint. Complaints are confessions of faith in disorder. Gratitude is faith in law. Do not lie awake rehearsing what went wrong. The mind magnifies whatever it studies. Instead, recall what went right. Even the smallest progress deserves acknowledgement, for acknowledgement multiplies good. The grateful mind becomes magnetic. Gratitude is the proof that you expect more good, and expectation is the mother of manifestation. Say softly, I am grateful for all that has been given, and I am ready for more. This thought, when repeated nightly, creates a silent current that draws opportunity to you. You will awaken with ideas, contacts, and impulses that lead directly toward your purpose. Life becomes organized not by chance, but by obedience to this nightly ritual. Let me illustrate. A man once came to me burdened by endless worry. He spent his days working and his nights thinking about work. His health declined, his business faltered. I taught him to end each day by writing 3 sentences, one of gratitude, one of decision, one of faith. I am thankful for today's lessons. I will act with courage tomorrow. Infinite intelligence guides my path. He followed this for 30 nights. At first, nothing changed. But by the 5th week, he noticed a shift. New clients arrived, debts cleared, his sleep deepened. He had changed the blueprint of his subconscious, and the builder had obeyed. The subconscious cannot resist the combination of repetition and emotion. Whatever idea is impressed with feeling must find its expression. The man who repeats his faith nightly engraves it upon his inner nature. The man who repeats his fear does the same. You have been hypnotizing yourself since childhood, either into limitation or into power. Now you will begin to use that same law consciously, wisely, deliberately. Think of your mind as a great factory. The conscious mind is the management. It gives orders. The subconscious is the machinery. It carries them out. During the day, management often interferes, changing plans, doubting directions, confusing the workers. But at night, when management sleeps, the factory continues its production according to the last instruction received. Be sure those instructions are definite and prosperous. Before you rest, write your chief purpose upon paper. Read it slowly. Feel it as though it were already accomplished. Say, I am grateful that my purpose is fulfilled in divine order. Do not analyze. Do not reason. Just believe. Then close your eyes and let the mind's machinery hum quietly in the background of sleep. As you drift into rest, picture yourself surrounded by light, calm, and certainty. See the coming day flowing smoothly, meetings, decisions, people, all aligning easily. Feel the satisfaction of order. Say inwardly, while I sleep, my mind builds prosperity. I am being guided now. Let these thoughts sink beyond the surface. They are the seeds of tomorrow's opportunities. When you awaken, move slowly. Do not rush to noise. Hold the silence for a few moments. In that first stillness, the mind is most receptive. Listen inwardly. Often, the first thought that arises is guidance, an idea, a direction, a reminder. The one who honors these morning impressions honors the voice of infinite intelligence. Do not say, I dreamed it. It means nothing. The subconscious communicates in symbols, impressions, and moods. Keep a small notebook beside your bed. Record what you recall upon waking. Over time, patterns will emerge, answers to problems, hints of invention, inspiration for decisions. The divine speaks softly, only the attentive hear. Remember always that faith is most effective when joined with relaxation. A tense mind cannot receive. A peaceful mind is the open channel of infinite intelligence. The man who trusts deeply sleeps deeply. His rest is not escape, but cooperation. He has placed his affairs in divine hands and wakes renewed for direction. Let this truth sink into you. Your world will always match the tone of your nightly thought. The man who falls asleep rehearsing defeat must meet defeat. The man who falls asleep affirming victory cannot avoid it, for the subconscious does not fail to express what it has been taught. As you practice this law, you will find that your days begin to change. Problems will solve themselves. Decisions will come with ease. Ideas will arrive whole and ready, as though delivered from a higher source. You will feel guided. That feeling is not imagination. It is law obeyed. People around you will sense it too. They will notice your calmness, your new order, your quiet confidence. They may say, you seem different. What are you doing? You will smile, for you know the answer cannot be explained. You have learned to think while you sleep. You have entered partnership with the infinite. In time, you will come to see that the night is not a void, but a sacred workshop. The man who knows how to sleep with faith never again fears the darkness. He sees it as the hour of multiplication. He no longer strives against life. He works with it. When you close your eyes tonight, do not imagine yourself entering unconsciousness. Imagine yourself entering communion. The conscious mind retires, the subconscious takes command. The physical world pauses, but the spiritual continues. You are not ceasing to act. You are changing your method of action. The rich man and the poor man both sleep, but their sleep is not the same. One enters rest in faith, the other in fear. One gives his subconscious a plan. The other gives it confusion. One rises to opportunity, the other to more of yesterday. Their conditions may appear different, but their cause is the same, the use or misuse of the night. Before you rest, pause and affirm quietly, I am rich in thought. I am peaceful in spirit. I am guided toward all that is mine. My mind and infinite intelligence are one in purpose. Feel these words as truth. They are not requests. They are recognition of law. You are aligning with what has always been available. Soon you will find yourself looking forward to these moments before sleep. They will become sacred, your nightly audience with power. The worries that once haunted you will seem small and foolish. You will understand that anxiety is nothing but misuse of imagination. You will use that imagination for creation instead. In this state, miracles are ordinary, but they will not come as fireworks. They will come as quiet alignments, people calling at the right hour, letters arriving at perfect time, doors opening as though on their own. You will smile, for you will know the secret. It was arranged while you slept. Never again say, I am unlucky. There is no luck, only law. The subconscious is always producing according to its last order. If you do not like the harvest, change the seed. The moment you give it a new command with emotion and repetition, the results must change. This is not opinion. It is mathematics of mind. And now, as you prepare to close your eyes tonight, you will remember these words. While I sleep, my mind builds prosperity. Infinite intelligence works while I am still. I am safe, guided, and supplied. Let these become your lullaby, your shield, your bridge to the divine. Do not struggle to believe, simply feel calm. Faith grows not by force, but by familiarity. Each night that you repeat these truths, they sink deeper into your being. Soon they will no longer sound like affirmations, they will sound like fact. And when that day comes, when faith has replaced effort, you will understand why I tell you. The man who controls his nights controls his life. The world belongs to those who have learned to think in silence, to build while they rest, and to let the unseen do the heavy lifting. When morning comes, you will not need to push. You will act with certainty, for you will know that half the work was done in sleep. The subconscious will have paved your path, and as you move through the day, opportunities will seem to move toward you. This is the law of mental continuity, the eternal workshop of the mind. Use it nightly. Trust it daily. Guard it jealously. For while others waste their nights in fear, you will be building fortunes in silence. And as you lie down this very night, close your eyes with this thought echoing through your soul. I have done my part today. Infinite intelligence does the rest. While I sleep, my mind builds prosperity. Then let go. Fall into the quiet from which creation comes. For even now, while you rest, the law begins to move on your behalf. Part 3. The magnetic rhythm. Aligning thought with the universal order. There is rhythm in everything that lives. The tide does not fight the shore, nor does the sun hurry to rise before its hour. Even the beating of your heart moves by law, steady and deliberate, following the pulse of infinite intelligence. Success, too, has its rhythm. Prosperity, harmony, peace, all are born of alignment with this divine order. The man who learns to move in rhythm with the universe no longer struggles. He flows. To live in rhythm is to cooperate with power. Most men resist this rhythm. They are impatient, rushing against the law that governs increase. They plant today and demand harvest tomorrow. They force, they strain, they chase, and in their haste, they break the rhythm that could have carried them effortlessly to their desire. The wise man, however, learns that every result has its season. He does not panic and delay, for delay in the language of law is not denial. It is preparation. You cannot pull a tree from the soil before its roots are ready. You cannot rush the maturity of gold in the earth or the forming of steel in fire. So it is with ideas. Thought, too, must gestate according to natural rhythm. You must learn to think in harmony with the eternal tempo of creation, trusting that every right thought held steadily unfolds at the perfect time. The law of mental resonance governs this truth. It states that the mind attracts to itself conditions of similar vibration. When your thoughts move in harmony with peace, confidence, and purpose, life responds with opportunities of the same nature. But when you think in discord, anger, fear, impatience, you send confused signals into the universe, and the universe replies with confusion. The mind is an instrument, and your emotions are its strings. If you pluck them harshly, they produce noise. If you tune them gently, they produce melody. The man whose thoughts are orderly lives in music with the world. The man whose thoughts are erratic lives in chaos. To attract prosperity, you must keep your mental tone steady, harmonious, and calm. When your thoughts beat in rhythm with abundance, the world hears the silent song of your faith. You need not announce it, you need only feel it. The invisible recognizes vibration before speech. Infinite intelligence responds not to noise but to frequency. Your faith is the frequency that calls prosperity home. Say quietly within, my thought beats in rhythm with abundance. I move at the pace of divine order. Feel these words rather than speak them. Let them sink into your breathing. This rhythm will begin to calm you, to smooth the rough edges of worry, to steady the pulse of your mind. When Henry Ford faced financial panic in his factories, he did not collapse in confusion. While others ran about with fear, he sat in stillness. His calm was not idleness, it was rhythm. He knew that haste would destroy precision. He trusted the law of order, and by aligning with that rhythm, he restored his fortune. The world saw his result, but the secret was inward harmony. To live by this rhythm means to trust the unseen more than appearances. Appearances are deceptive. The harvest may not be visible, but it is already forming beneath the surface. You must not allow outer delay to create inner doubt, for doubt breaks the rhythm, and once the beat is lost, effort turns to strain. A man once told me, I have tried to think positively, but nothing happens. I asked, how long did you hold that thought? He said, a week. I smiled, for a week is nothing in the rhythm of creation. You cannot plant a seed today and accuse the soil of failure tomorrow. You must give law its season. The rhythm of the universe is perfect. It never misses a beat. The stars keep their path, the oceans their tide, the seasons their turn. When you align your thought with that same steadiness, you enter a state where success becomes inevitable. You cease to chase results and begin to draw them, not by speed, but by certainty. Repeat inwardly. Nothing in haste, nothing in fear, everything on time. Feel the calm that comes with these words. That calm is faith manifesting as rhythm. Fear rushes, faith waits. Fear doubts, faith knows. Fear interferes, faith allows. Learn to allow. Impatience is the great enemy of prosperity. It confuses the current of creation. The man who demands harvest before its time shows that he does not trust law. Therefore, law cannot trust him with abundance. He disturbs his own vibration. His thought beats irregularly, producing dissonance that repels opportunity. Be still, but not idle. The farmer does not sit lazily while crops grow. He tends the soil, waters the seed, guards it from pests, but he does not dig it up daily to see if it is growing. His confidence in the rhythm of nature frees him from anxiety. So must your confidence in mental rhythm free you from doubt. Every emotion carries frequency. Gratitude is harmony. Resentment is discord. Joy is melody. Envy is noise. Each day you choose the tune of your mind. The wise man selects gratitude, for it keeps him in rhythm with creation. The unwise man chooses complaint and wonders why life seems harsh. Life merely echoes what it hears. Say now with conviction, I am in harmony with the rhythm of success. The law of order moves through my affairs. The moment you say this sincerely, you change your mental tempo. You will feel it. Your breathing will slow, your heart steady, your mind clear. You have entered rhythm with infinite intelligence. You will know when you are out of rhythm. You will feel strain, frustration, hurry, resistance. That is the body's way of signaling that thought has wandered from law. When this happens, stop what you are doing. Step back into silence. Breathe. Repeat inwardly. I move only in rhythm with divine order. Then wait. Action will return when alignment returns. I have often said, the difference between failure and success is not opportunity, but timing. The unsuccessful man acts out of panic. The successful man acts out of rhythm. The one who hurries digs a ditch before rain falls. The one who waits plants seed when the ground is soft. Faith and patience are brothers, born of rhythm. Andrew Carnegie built his empire not through frenzy, but through timing. He knew when to expand and when to hold. He once said, the man who cannot wait cannot prosper. He was speaking of rhythm. The power to wait calmly is greater than the power to rush blindly. Those who act in harmony with law never miss their moment. Repetition is the metronome of the mind. Just as rhythm in music is sustained by steady beat, rhythm in success is maintained by daily repetition of right thought. You cannot play one note of faith and expect a symphony of results. You must keep the beat, morning, night, and every hour between. Each affirmation, each definite thought, each grateful word keeps the rhythm alive. Say it often and feel it deeply. My thought beats in rhythm with abundance. I move at the pace of divine order. I am never late, never early, always right on time. The subconscious loves rhythm. It learns through pattern. The more you repeat faith calmly, the more it becomes automatic. Soon you will act in order without needing to think about order. Others will notice something different in you. They will sense a poise that they cannot define. You will speak less, but mean more. You will act without haste, but accomplish with precision. Your presence will quiet those around you. They will feel the pulse of certainty within you and trust it, even if they cannot explain it. To align with universal rhythm is to become magnetic. People, ideas, and resources begin to move toward you as iron filings to a magnet. They recognize in your vibration something steady, something certain. The world loves the man who is calm. It fears the man who is frantic. Calmness is silent authority. I tell you now, faith has a rhythm. You must learn to feel it. It does not argue, it affirms. It does not rush, it endures. It is the same rhythm that guides the planets, the same tempo that carries the wind, the same heartbeat that sustains all life. When you attune to it, you become one with it. There will be moments when you think nothing is happening. That is when everything is happening. Just because you cannot see the current does not mean it has stopped flowing. Beneath the calm surface, the river moves with force. So it is with your unseen progress. You must learn to trust movement you cannot measure. Fear of stillness is ignorance of rhythm. Most men panic in quiet seasons thinking they have been abandoned by luck. They have not been abandoned, they are being prepared. The farmer does not despair in winter, he sharpens his tools for spring. The wise man does the same in silence. Each night before rest, remind yourself, all things unfold in perfect rhythm. My desires move toward me in divine order. I am calm, patient, and certain. Let these words be the pulse that carries you into sleep. You will awaken aligned, confident, and guided. Remember, energy cannot be lost, it can only be disorganized. When you align your inner energy through faith, gratitude, and patience, you reorganize the same power that others waste in worry. You turn chaos into current, you move from pushing to attracting. Thomas Edison was asked once how he could work so long without frustration. He said, "I never fail, I discover what doesn't work, and I move on." That statement reveals perfect rhythm. He did not interrupt his vibration with discouragement. He stayed in motion with law, and the law rewarded him. You too must become indifferent to delay and devoted to direction. The rhythm of creation may appear slow to the impatient, but to the faithful it is swift, for they no longer measure time by hours, but by growth. The man who grows each day is already successful, even before the world calls him so. Practice listening for rhythm in daily life. Notice how nature never hurries yet achieves all. Observe how opportunity arrives precisely when you are ready, not when you demand it. The man who lives in awareness of this order becomes free of anxiety. He knows that nothing good can be lost to him, for law cannot fail its own harmony. Say now with quiet conviction, I move at the pace of divine order. Nothing can be delayed, nothing can be denied. I am in perfect rhythm with infinite intelligence. When these words become truth in your feeling, you will stop chasing success and start embodying it. The restless man burns his fuel in hurry. The rhythmic man conserves it through calm. One tires quickly, the other grows stronger with each step. Rhythm is the secret of endurance. You may think patience is passive. It is not. Patience is power under control. The wind that destroys when violent is the same wind that carries ships when steady. So too with thought. Uncontrolled, it ruins. Disciplined, it uplifts. Control is rhythm. As you learn to move in rhythm with law, even your obstacles will become allies. Delays will prove divine. You will look back and see that every pause was placement, every setback was synchronization. Infinite intelligence always acts on time. You will learn to say, this too is part of my order. To be in rhythm with the universe is to feel peace in every circumstance. You will notice that you no longer rush, no longer fear, no longer resist. You will move with the same confidence as sunrise. And just as sunrise needs no applause, your success will need no validation. It will unfold quietly, inevitably, beautifully. Now, as this truth settles into your mind, repeat within. My thought beats in rhythm with abundance. I move at the pace of divine order. Nothing in haste, nothing in fear, everything on time. Feel the calm certainty these words bring. That calm is wealth already forming. Tomorrow when you wake, do not rush into the day. Begin with silence. Listen inwardly. Move deliberately. Each act done in rhythm is an act done in power. The man who moves with order commands his world without struggle. In time, you will notice that fortune itself has begun to keep your rhythm. Opportunities arrive as if scheduled by your own heartbeat. Meetings, decisions, and outcomes all fall into place. Life becomes less of a battle and more of a symphony. This is the reward of alignment. You have ceased to resist the current of good. You have learned to flow with it. And in that flow, every need is met, every desire fulfilled, every plan completed in perfect sequence. Let this thought close your day and open your rest. I live in rhythm with infinite intelligence. Prosperity moves toward me in perfect time. I am calm, patient, and certain. As you drift into sleep tonight, imagine your thoughts moving in harmony with the stars, your faith beating in time with the heart of the universe, for it is in that rhythm that all power resides, and once you are one with it, nothing can oppose you. Part 4. The Law of Invisible Exchange, Prosperity as a Circulating Force. There is a law so perfect, so exact, that all wealth depends upon it. Nothing that lives can be hoarded. Everything that endures must circulate. The universe itself breathes by the rhythm of giving and receiving. The tides rise and fall, the heart contracts and expands, the seasons give and take, and through this endless motion, life sustains itself. The moment circulation ceases, decay begins. So it is with money. So it is with opportunity. So it is with all forms of prosperity. Money is not a thing. It is a force. It is energy in motion, a visible shadow of invisible law. It responds to faith, to emotion, to attitude, and to rhythm. To try to hold it is to kill it. To guide it wisely is to multiply it. The man who understands this principle of invisible exchange becomes master of abundance, for he aligns himself with the same movement that governs all creation. Observe nature. The river that gives water to the sea never runs dry, for the sea returns it as vapor to the sky. The tree that sheds its leaves each autumn does not mourn loss, for the law of return guarantees renewal. But man, in his ignorance, clutches his possessions and calls that security. He withholds, and by withholding he interrupts the flow that would have delivered him tenfold increase. Fear is the root of greed. Greed is not the love of gain. It is the terror of loss. The man who fears loss resists circulation. The man who resists circulation defies law, and the man who defies law cannot prosper. Every great fortune was born from a mind that trusted the law of return. Say quietly within, what I give returns multiplied. Feel the truth of it, for it is not sentiment, it is mathematics. No energy is ever lost, it merely changes form. When you release money, service, or goodwill with faith, it travels the invisible path and returns increased by those it touches. Andrew Carnegie built his empire upon this understanding. He did not see money as possession, but as trust. He once said, the man who dies rich dies disgraced. He gave because he believed that giving proved faith in abundance. He circulated wealth not to boast, but to demonstrate law. And the law, being perfect, responded with even greater abundance. The poor cling because they distrust the law. They believe that what leaves their hand is lost forever, not knowing that circulation is the very proof of life. A clenched fist cannot receive. The man who withholds his energy from the flow of good shuts himself from the channel through which all good returns. You must therefore learn to give in spirit before you can receive in form. Giving is not always coin. It is attention, kindness, encouragement, faith. When you bless others with thought and word, you send vibrations of prosperity through the unseen, and since all energy moves in circles, it must complete its return. Say inwardly, I give joyfully, for I live in infinite supply. Feel the release that comes when fear lets go of its grip. That release is the opening of new channels. You will begin to notice opportunities appearing, not forced, not sought, but drawn by the law of reciprocity. Every great law of life is a mirror of the creative mind itself. Infinite intelligence gives continually. It asks for nothing, yet receives everything. The sun gives light and is never diminished. The earth gives fruit and multiplies through the very act of giving. The ocean gives rain to the sky and gains back the river. If you wish to live prosperously, you must copy the pattern of creation, circulation, not stagnation. A man once came to me complaining that he could not hold money. It slips through my hands, he said. Every time I earn more, I lose more. I asked him how he spoke of money. He confessed that he often said, I can't keep it. I told him, then you are commanding the law to obey that belief. I taught him instead to say, money flows to me and through me in ever-increasing measure. I am a wise channel of circulation. He began to repeat these words daily, but more importantly, he began to live by them. He started giving small gifts where once he would have withheld. He paid his debts cheerfully. He thanked money each time it entered or left his hands. Within a year, his income had doubled, and his worry had vanished. He had learned to work with the current instead of against it. Money, you see, is alive. It has intelligence because it is part of the universal mind's movement. It obeys the vibration of your thought. Speak kindly to it, and it will stay. Respect it, and it will multiply. Use it with purpose, and it will serve. But scorn it, fear it, or hoard it, and it will flee. Never say, I can't afford to give. Say instead, I give because I trust the law of return. For the man who gives when it seems he cannot prove that his faith is greater than his circumstance, that faith is magnetic. It draws new avenues of increase. You cannot outgive the infinite, for the infinite has no limit. There is also a higher form of giving, silent giving. It is not the gift announced with pride, but the quiet act that no one sees. Silent giving is purest because it has no motive but gratitude. The universe recognizes sincerity and multiplies it. You may think no one knows, but infinite intelligence knows, and its record is exact. When you give in secret, you free yourself from vanity and fear. You remind the subconscious that you are a channel, not a container. Containers overflow and stagnate. Channels flow forever. Say softly to yourself, circulation is creation. I withhold nothing from good. Let these words reshape your relationship with money, with time, with service. Whatever you release in faith becomes seed. Whatever you hoard in fear becomes stone. Consider again the rhythm of breathing. You cannot inhale without exhaling. The man who tries to hold his breath in fear of losing it soon suffocates. So too does the man who hoards his goods suffocate the flow of increase. He calls it prudence, but it is paralysis. True prudence is wisdom guided by law, not fear disguised as caution. John D. Rockefeller mastered this principle early. He kept detailed accounts of every dollar earned and given. He circulated wealth through contribution and discipline, not sentimentality. His giving was organized, his faith unwavering. That is why his fortune grew even through crisis. He had built a perfect system of exchange. When you give with joy, not with reluctance. The spirit in which you give determines the measure of return. A grudging gift carries the vibration of loss. A joyful gift carries the vibration of increase. The universe does not multiply sadness. It multiplies enthusiasm. To give grudgingly is to pay. To give gladly is to prosper. The subconscious measures your emotion, not the amount. $1 given in gratitude attracts more than 1,000 given in fear. You must also learn the second half of circulation, receiving. Many men can give but cannot receive. They feel unworthy of good, embarrassed by abundance, uneasy when praised or helped. They block the return half of the cycle. To receive graciously is as divine as to give. It acknowledges that law has worked and that gratitude completes the circuit. Say inwardly, I am open to receive all that infinite intelligence sends. Every good I give returns multiplied through perfect channels. Feel no guilt in increase. You cannot help others by starving yourself of power. The candle that lights another loses nothing of its flame. Let us speak of gratitude, for it is the highest currency. Gratitude is invisible giving. It circulates instantly through the unseen. The moment you give thanks, you have given energy to the universe, and it must return in kind. Gratitude is faith made audible. It is proof that you trust the law even before you see the result. When you say, "I am grateful," you are really saying, "I already possess." Gratitude is the language of possession, not desire. The man who desires confesses absence. The man who is grateful affirms presence. To live in gratitude is to live as though the law has already fulfilled its promise, and that assumption compels fulfillment. Therefore, each morning before you set your hand to work, thank the invisible forces that move for your good. Say, "I am thankful that prosperity circulates through me freely. I am blessed to give and worthy to receive." Speak it once, feel it deeply, and your entire day will adjust to match its vibration. You will notice changes. People will begin to offer help unexpectedly. Opportunities will seem to appear from nowhere. Resources will align themselves to your needs. This is not chance. It is circulation. You have activated law through feeling. Do not be misled by appearances. When you release something, a payment, a gift, an act of service, it may seem to leave you, but the law of invisible exchange never allows loss. It merely changes its form and begins its return. The cycle cannot be broken except by fear, and fear has no power except what you give it. Fear says, "If I give, I will have less." Faith says, "Because I give, I will have more." The two cannot dwell together. You must choose one. Every act of generosity strengthens faith. Every act of withholding strengthens fear. Choose daily which master you serve. If you wish to grow richer, increase the good you circulate. Speak kindly more often. Lend encouragement freely. Share ideas without jealousy. Recommend others' success. Send blessings in thought to those who prosper, for their increase proves law. What you wish for them, you claim for yourself. Never envy the rich. Envy poisons circulation. To resent another's fortune is to tell the law that wealth is displeasing to you, and the law will obey by withholding it. Instead, bless the rich and study how they think. The universe rewards not persons, but principles. What they obey, you can obey. Say within, "I rejoice in the prosperity of others, for it proves that wealth is plentiful. My good multiplies through their success." You will feel a strange freedom as jealousy dissolves. That freedom is faith expanding. You have aligned with the law of increase instead of resisting it. Do not confuse extravagance with generosity. Extravagance is waste born of vanity. Generosity is wisdom guided by purpose. Give to build, not to impress. Every dollar should move through you with direction, not disorder. The man who throws money to appear great declares inward poverty. The man who gives to advance good declares mastery. The habit of circulation transforms character. You will become cheerful where you were anxious, open where you were guarded, free where you were afraid. You will begin to feel that life itself is friendly, that every loss is merely an exchange for something better. You will stop grasping and start creating. Repeat quietly, "I trust the law of return, for I live in infinite supply. I give joyfully, I receive gratefully, I circulate wisely." These words are a covenant between you and infinite intelligence. Keep them daily and abundance will keep you. When you pay bills, pay them gladly. Each payment affirms your ability to meet obligation, and that affirmation draws more supply. Say as you write each check or part with each coin, "I send this out in joy, knowing it returns multiplied." You will begin to notice your resources replenishing in unexpected ways. The man who blesses his payments never lacks. The one who curses them always does. For every word carries vibration, and vibration organizes matter. Speak blessing, and law aligns with you. Henry Ford once said, "If you think of money as something to be earned, you will always struggle. If you think of it as something to circulate, you will always have it." He understood that movement is the sign of life. His fortune flowed because he never dammed the current. Let this law guide your relationships as well. Give appreciation where it is due. Give patience to those who err. Give encouragement to those who struggle. Each act sends invisible waves that return multiplied through unexpected channels. Prosperity is not confined to coins. It is a state of exchange between you and the world. As you practice this, you will notice how others begin to respond. They will trust you, prefer you, assist you, and recommend you. The world rewards those who contribute without counting. People sense the vibration of generosity as surely as they sense warmth from the sun. By circulating good, you become the center of a growing web of prosperity. You will attract allies, opportunities, and goodwill wherever you go. The more you circulate, the larger your orbit of influence. This is not magic. It is mathematics of vibration. Now, as this law settles deeper into your consciousness, say inwardly, I am a perfect instrument of circulation. Prosperity flows through me freely. What I give returns multiplied. My gratitude keeps the channel clear. Hold these words before sleep, and your subconscious will continue their rhythm through the night. It will organize new ways for this circulation to manifest, new contacts, new inspiration, new ideas. When you awaken, you will feel lighter, freer, more certain. Remember this, wealth is never static. It is the movement of organized thought through the medium of law. The moment you hoard thought, hoard love, or hoard energy, you lose it. The moment you circulate them, they return magnified. Therefore, live as the law lives, by motion, by faith, by generosity. Let every thought, every coin, every word flow outward in confidence that the circle always completes. For it does, it must. That is law. And each time you give, whisper silently, this too will return to me, multiplied and refined. Then forget it. Do not count the return. Let the law count it for you. It is more accurate than arithmetic. One day you will look back and see that everything you ever gave, time, thought, service, or faith, has returned 100-fold. You will realize that you never truly lost anything. You merely sent it ahead to prepare your future. When that understanding becomes part of your being, you will fear nothing, for nothing essential can be taken from one who circulates with love. You will no longer clutch life. You will cooperate with it. You will live as infinite intelligence lives, freely, joyfully, endlessly giving, endlessly receiving. And when that day comes, you will say quietly, circulation is creation. I withhold nothing from good. I give, and therefore I grow. I receive, and therefore I serve. I trust the law of return, for I live in infinite supply. Then you will smile, for you will have learned the true secret of prosperity, that abundance is not stored, it is shared. And in that sharing, you will find that your wealth, like the universe itself, has no end. Part 5. The mirror of belief. How others reflect your inner state. Everything you meet in this world is yourself reflected through the faces of others. Life is a mirror, exact, unfeeling, perfectly just. It never gives you what you want. It gives you what you are. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, for it leaves no one to blame, nowhere to hide, and no excuse to keep. But it is also the greatest revelation you can ever receive, because once you understand it, you hold the master key to destiny. The world does not see you as you are in body, but as you are in belief. If you believe yourself small, life will keep you surrounded by limitation. If you believe yourself unworthy, people will forget your name, overlook your efforts, and confirm your doubt. But if you believe yourself strong, able, guided, and deserving, men and events will rise to meet your conviction. The outer world always bows to inner law. Each man carries within him a silent broadcast of his own belief. Without realizing it, he sends out vibrations that announce his estimate of himself. These vibrations draw to him others of the same nature. The timid attract the bold who dominate them. The indecisive attract the willful who use them. The self-respecting attract those who treat them with respect. It is not chance. It is reflection. When you meet a man who irritates you, you are not seeing him. You are seeing a hidden weakness in yourself mirrored back for correction. When you meet one who inspires you, you are not seeing him either. You are seeing a sleeping greatness within you awakening to recognition. Every relationship is a message from your own consciousness. You must therefore cease asking, why do they treat me so? And begin asking, what belief within me allowed this? For until you change the inner image, the outer reflection will persist. The man who seeks to alter circumstance without altering belief is like one who strikes the mirror and expects his face to change. The law that governs this is the law of reflection. It is one of the oldest and most exact principles of success. It states that every person, condition, and event in your life is a projection of your dominant mental attitude. You are both the artist and the painting, both the architect and the house. The mind, being creative, must build in form the ideas it accepts as true. Say softly within yourself, "The world reflects my faith in myself." Feel those words rather than think them. They are not philosophy. They are mathematics. Life cannot contradict your vibration. When you expect rejection, you will find it. When you expect respect, you will receive it. The great tragedy of mankind is that most men live unaware of this law. They wander through life blaming others, fate, or circumstance, never realizing that every insult, every delay, every failure, every kindness, every success is the echo of their own thought. They run from shadow to shadow, while the light that casts it remains unchanged within. You must take complete possession of this truth. All change begins inwardly. If you wish to alter how the world treats you, first alter how you treat yourself. When you think ill of yourself, you instruct the universe to confirm it. When you criticize your own worth, you invite others to join you. But when you walk in quiet dignity, with the calm conviction that you are guided by infinite intelligence, life salutes you as a general salutes rank. George Washington possessed this dignity. He was not loud, he was not boastful, yet men followed him through hunger, despair, and cold. Why? Because his belief in purpose was so deep that it impressed itself upon the hearts of others. His soldiers mirrored his faith. His calm under hardship became their courage. The secret of leadership is self-mastery expressed outwardly through poise. When your inner world is orderly, your outer world must reflect that order. There is no exception. You may disguise insecurity with fine clothes or loud talk, but the vibration of fear will always betray you. The eye sees only the shell. The spirit senses the tone beneath. People feel what you think long before you speak. The subconscious of one man communicates silently with the subconscious of another. That is why confidence commands without words, and why doubt invites rejection even when the mouth smiles. Say quietly within, "I radiate confidence, and the world feels it." Do not wait to feel confident before you act confident. Act first, and the feeling will follow. The body is the servant of thought. It will adjust itself to your inner command. Straighten your posture. Lift your head. Breathe deeply. These are physical affirmations of belief, and they transmit invisible signals of worth. A man once asked me, "How can I make people respect me?" I told him, "By first respecting yourself." Respect is not demanded, it is projected. You cannot receive what you do not first give. Begin by speaking of yourself as capable, decisive, and intelligent. Cease using the language of apology. Stop telling others how hard life is. Tell yourself how capable you are to master it. If you believe yourself a victim, you will meet persecutors. If you believe yourself a creator, you will meet allies. If you believe life owes you nothing but offers everything to faith, you will begin to see opportunity in every direction. The world mirrors not your hopes, but your convictions. Say softly, "I think well of others, and they think well of me." This affirmation aligns you with the law of reflection in its highest form. It teaches that to change another's attitude, you must first alter your own. You cannot draw goodwill from others while sending out irritation. What you release returns. If you wish for more kindness, increase your kindness. If you desire loyalty, become loyal. If you seek love, embody it. The mind is a mirror that first reflects inward before it reflects outward. You must cleanse it daily of the dust of resentment, fear, and complaint. Every negative thought is a smudge upon the glass of your consciousness. You cannot see clearly through it, nor can the world see clearly into you. Each morning, polish the mirror of your mind with gratitude and affirmation. Repeat quietly, "I am worthy of respect and goodness. I attract what I believe. The world is my reflection of faith." As you say these words, notice how your heart softens, your face relaxes, and your spirit grows calm. That calmness itself begins to change how others see you. Do not wait for the world to change before believing in yourself. That is like waiting for the mirror to smile before you do. The mirror obeys the face. Life obeys belief. Begin now to see yourself as the man you intend to become, and life will begin to reshape itself to your image. I have watched men who once were timid, overlooked, and unnoticed rise to prominence merely by altering their self-image. One man came to me, shy and apologetic. He could not sell, could not persuade, could not lead. I told him to spend each night before sleep saying aloud, I am confident, I am guided, I am calm, I am respected. At first he said it mechanically, without faith. But after several weeks, he began to feel the tone of his own voice change. Soon his posture changed. His eyes brightened. His handshake grew firm. Others began to treat him differently because he was no longer the same reflection. Within a year, he was leading a team and earning more than he had ever imagined. Nothing outside him changed, only his belief. There is no force in the world more magnetic than a man who quietly knows his worth. You cannot fake this power. You must earn it through discipline of thought. The weak seek validation from others. The strong grant it to themselves. The world treats you as you train it to treat you. Say within, respect flows to me because I respect the law. This affirmation reminds you that your dignity is not vanity, it is obedience. The universe is a hierarchy of law. When you live according to principle, your life gains authority. People trust those who are self-governed because law recognizes law. When others speak ill of you, do not fight to defend yourself. Their words cannot harm the truth of who you are. Reflection does not change reality. It only reveals perception. The more you fight a false image, the more energy you give it. Simply hold your peace and allow time to correct misunderstanding. The calm man always wins, for time fights on his side. Every emotion you express is a message to the universe about how you see yourself. Anger says, I am weak. Jealousy says, I am lacking. Envy says, I am small. Gratitude says, I am rich. Peace says, I am secure. Every vibration returns multiplied. You cannot express weakness and attract strength. Therefore, discipline your inner tone. The next time you find yourself irritated by another, pause and ask, what in me is being shown for correction? In that moment, you transform judgment into wisdom. You stop reacting and begin refining. Soon you will find that the very people who once disturbed you have lost their power to do so. They have changed because you have changed. Abraham Lincoln practiced this discipline. When insulted or betrayed, he would write letters he never sent. He released the emotion privately, refusing to let bitterness stain his leadership. His control of self shaped a nation. The calm of his belief reflected peace across millions. You too can learn this mastery. Each time you feel slighted, repeat inwardly, I am unmoved, for I know my worth. I respond only to truth. These words restore rhythm to your mind. The emotional storm passes, and you stand again in the light of composure. The reflection of your belief does not stop with people. It extends to circumstance. The man who believes that the world is hostile will find obstacles at every corner. The man who believes that infinite intelligence is friendly to his aims will find doors opening where there were none. Both are right, for both are living their belief. I have often said, you cannot escape yourself. You may change cities, partners, jobs, or fortune, but you will meet yourself in every new setting until you decide to change the image you carry within. The law will follow you until you obey it. The mirror never lies, but it always forgives. The first step in changing the reflection is gratitude. Thank life for what it shows you, even the unpleasant parts. Say within, I am grateful for every reflection, for it teaches me who I am becoming. This thought transforms pain into progress. Gratitude cleans the mirror. The second step is imagination. Begin to see yourself not as the world has treated you, but as infinite intelligence created you. Picture yourself walking with confidence, speaking with clarity, thinking with precision. Feel the power of that image. Hold it before sleep each night, for the subconscious builds its reflection while you rest. The third step is repetition. You cannot alter an old reflection with one affirmation. The image must be repainted daily. Each morning declare, I am a man of calm faith and magnetic confidence. My world respects my belief. Each night before sleep, reaffirm it. Soon others will begin to act accordingly, though they may not know why. The fourth step is forgiveness. You cannot change your reflection while holding anger. The mirror of life cannot show beauty through the fog of resentment. Forgive others, not to excuse them, but to free yourself. When you release them, you release the energy that binds you to the past. Say inwardly, I free all others, and I am free. I hold no judgment, for law corrects all things. These words restore clarity to your mirror. The world will begin to reflect peace instead of conflict, cooperation instead of competition. The final step is persistence. Continue to live as though the new reflection were already established. Do not revert to the old image at the first sign of doubt. The mirror may take time to adjust, but it always obeys the last dominant picture. Keep faith steady until life catches up. You will know you have mastered this law when the behavior of others no longer disturbs your peace. You will look upon the unkind with understanding, the doubtful with patience, the fearful with compassion. You will see them not as enemies, but as unhealed reflections of humanity's ignorance. And because you see clearly, life will begin to treat you with the same mercy. Say softly now, as truth rather than hope. The world reflects my faith in myself. I think well of others, and they think well of me. Respect flows to me because I respect the law. Let these words resonate in the silence behind your mind. They are not wishful thinking. They are commands to the subconscious, which will quietly adjust your outer world to match them. Soon you will find yourself walking differently, speaking differently, radiating calm assurance where once there was uncertainty. People will look at you with new eyes. They will say, something about you has changed. You will smile, for you know it is not something, it is everything. For when you master belief, you master reflection. When you master reflection, you master life. Part 6. The seed of certainty, how faith becomes material fact. There is a law older than the world and truer than any opinion of man. Faith precedes fact. Before any form appears, belief has already called it into being. Every building, every invention, every empire began as an invisible conviction held long before the world could see it. The cause of all creation is thought fixed in faith. The substance of things hoped for is faith made definite. Faith is the seed from which all tangible results grow. Just as a tree is hidden in the seed, your success, your peace, your prosperity already exist within the seed of your belief. But just as the seed cannot grow unless it is planted, watered, and left undisturbed, so too must your faith be nurtured and protected until its fruit appears. Say within yourself now, my faith is a living seed and its harvest is certain. Speak it softly and let it echo through you. Each time you say these words, you remind infinite intelligence that you are cooperating with its law. You're not asking for favor. You are aligning with order. Every man carries two fields within him, the field of doubt and the field of faith. Both wait for planting. Every thought you repeat is a seed cast into one or the other. The field you tend determines the crop you harvest. The man who plants thoughts of fear must reap limitation. The man who plants conviction must reap increase. The soil does not judge, it only multiplies what it receives. This is the law of inner evidence, the spiritual arithmetic of creation. It declares that the moment faith is truly accepted, proof must follow. The unseen is always first cause, the visible only effect. To the doubter, this sounds like magic. To the wise, it is precision. Look again at the world around you. The bridge you cross, the lamp that burns, the book you read, each was once only faith in one man's mind. Edison's electric light was not born from equipment, but from conviction. Thousands called him a fool. He called himself certain. Each time the filament failed, he said not, I am defeated, but I have discovered one more way that will not work. That is faith translated into method. His belief, sustained beyond reason, commanded nature to yield. You must come to think of faith not as a feeling, but as a command. Feeling wavers. Faith decides. Feeling depends on circumstance. Faith creates circumstance. Faith says, it is done, even while the world insists it is impossible. Faith is not blind. It is sight from a higher altitude. Say quietly, I believe without proof, for faith itself is proof. Let that truth settle in you like calm water. Doubt asks for evidence before believing. Faith produces evidence by believing first. When you live by faith, you move from reaction to creation. The tragedy of most men is that they plant faith one day and dig it up the next. They declare belief in the morning and speak fear by night. The soil cannot produce under such confusion. Every act of worry uproots what confidence has planted. If you would see your desire become fact, you must let it grow without interference. There is a rhythm to belief. You plant by thought, you water by repetition, and you harvest by patience. Each time you affirm your desire is already fulfilled, you strengthen the roots of faith. Each time you question, you weaken them. Therefore, learn to guard your mind as carefully as a farmer guards his field. Each morning declare inwardly, my results appear in divine sequence. I am patient, I am certain, I am guided. These words align you with the tempo of the universe. Nothing in law is rushed, yet nothing in law is delayed. The moment your thought and emotion agree in faith, creation has begun. The visible must follow in its appointed season. You may ask, but what of failure? What of those who believe and see nothing? To this I say, there is no failure in law, only incomplete planting. The man who sows one night and forgets the next has not failed. He has merely stopped working the law. Faith cannot produce through inconsistency. You cannot build a bridge one plank at a time and destroy it between attempts. Doubt is poison to creation. One moment of disbelief can undo days of progress. The subconscious is exact. It accepts contradiction as command. If you say, I believe, and later sigh, I fear, it obeys both orders, producing confusion in your affairs. You must therefore discipline your tongue as well as your thought. Never speak of failure, even in jest. Each word carries vibration. Each vibration shapes reality. When you feel fear, do not fight it. Observe it, name it, and replace it. Say calmly, this too is a thought, and I command it to serve faith. In that instant, you regain control. Fear loses its grip when recognized as servant rather than master. Faith does not deny the mountain, it commands the mountain to move. When life presents resistance, the man of faith does not collapse. He grows stronger. Resistance is the signal that growth is near. The deeper the challenge, the richer the soil for mastery. Every adversity carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit, but only faith can extract that benefit. I have known men who, through the loss of fortune, gained wisdom that later produced wealth tenfold greater. I have seen others who, through illness, awakened to purpose and built legacies from what once seemed tragedy. The difference between those who perish and those who prosper is not circumstance, it is faith. One says, this is my end. The other says, this is my beginning. Repeat inwardly, I no longer hope, I know. These words end all wavering. Hope waits, faith works. Hope looks forward to a better day. Faith declares this day sufficient. Hope pleads, faith commands. You must graduate from hope to certainty. The mind of faith is calm because it knows that unseen forces are already arranging the outcome. It does not count hours or days. It counts obedience. Each time you act in harmony with your belief, the law moves faster to reward it. The man who believes and acts is invincible. Faith must be joined with definite purpose. The man who believes vaguely receives vague results. You must decide precisely what you desire. Infinite intelligence cannot reward indecision. When your thought is definite and your belief firm, nothing can resist you. Say now, my faith is definite, my purpose is clear, my results are inevitable. As you repeat this, feel your mind solidify. The scattered forces of thought begin to unite behind your purpose like soldiers behind a banner. Where once there was hesitation, there will be direction. Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. He understood the mechanics of faith. The man who thinks he can instructs infinite intelligence to align conditions accordingly. The man who thinks he can't instructs it to block every door. The law obeys belief without prejudice. To cultivate faith, you must act as though it were already complete. Speak, walk, and decide as the successful man would, not arrogantly, but calmly, with the assurance of one who knows. This behavior convinces the subconscious that the result is already real. The body and the outer world will then conform. Say quietly, I carry myself as one who already possesses what I seek. Infinite intelligence fulfills through me. This is not pretending, it is partnership. Pretending is imitation without conviction. Faithful action is conviction in motion. Faith grows stronger through repetition of success, but the first success must come through repetition of faith. Each night before sleep, give your subconscious a single command in definite form. Tomorrow, every event moves me toward my purpose. I am guided and prospered, then let go. The subconscious will begin to organize events during your rest. You will awaken with ideas, impulses, and clarity. That is faith being translated into form. Andrew Carnegie once told me that he never made a single major decision in haste. He would write down the facts, state his intention, and then release the problem to his subconscious overnight. By morning, he knew. The answer always came, not through mysticism, but through law. His faith in that process was so absolute that he called it communion with the infinite. Faith communicates with infinite intelligence through calm expectancy. The anxious prayer is never answered, for it vibrates in fear. The quiet knowing is always answered, for it harmonizes with law. You must learn to pray not by pleading, but by claiming. The man who begs declares lack. The man who claims declares possession. Say softly, I already possess all that I seek, in substance and in law. This is truth, for all supply exists in spiritual form before it manifests in matter. Money, opportunity, companionship, health, all are organized energy awaiting direction. Faith directs. When discouragement arises, recall that every seed sprouts in darkness before it breaks the surface. You may see nothing, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Faith's evidence is inward long before it is outward. Keep believing, even when appearances contradict you. The test of faith is endurance without sight. When your outer world seems unchanged, ask yourself, am I still faithful? For if the answer is yes, your result is already forming. It must appear, for the universe cannot betray its own principle. I tell you with the certainty of law, once faith becomes your identity, success becomes your shadow. You need only walk steadily forward. The law will match your pace. Faith is contagious. As your conviction grows, others will feel it. They will be drawn to your calmness, your direction, your confidence. They may not understand, but they will trust. People trust certainty more than they trust logic. Your faith will awaken their own. This is why leaders of every age were men of unshakable belief. Washington, Lincoln, Edison, Ford, Carnegie, their achievements differed, but their faith was identical. Each believed first, and the world conformed later. Each saw with inner sight what others could not imagine. That is why they seemed to create miracles. They simply obeyed law while others doubted it. Faith, when perfected, becomes peace. The man who truly believes no longer strains. He ceases to push, he allows. He does not shout to prove his confidence. He radiates it quietly. That calm is the highest expression of mastery. Say now, I am calm because I am certain. I am certain because I am aligned with infinite intelligence. I am aligned, therefore my results appear. Let this affirmation dissolve all remaining tension. Feel your heartbeat slow to the rhythm of law itself. As you live by faith, your life will simplify. You will stop chasing results and begin creating them through order. You will waste no energy on complaint or comparison. You will know that what is yours cannot miss you, and what misses you was never yours to begin with. That knowledge is freedom. When you face challenges, do not ask, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, what greater good is being prepared through this? Faith turns adversity into training. Each trial becomes proof that the law still works. A man of faith walks through storms untouched because his thought is above the storm. He knows that infinite intelligence never withdraws. It only rearranges for progress. When one door closes, another has already opened. Faith simply waits to see it. Each morning upon waking, affirm, today I walk in calm certainty. Everything I require moves toward me in divine order. I am guided, supplied, and secure. These words, spoken with feeling, establish a vibration that carries through the entire day. You will notice that anxiety no longer finds you. You will meet difficulty with composure. You will speak less of problems and more of solutions. You will radiate peace so tangible that others will draw strength from it. They will not know why, but they will feel it. That feeling is the silent testimony of faith fulfilled. Faith does not beg, it expects. Faith does not hope, it knows. Faith does not struggle, it directs. Every time you affirm certainty, you reprogram the infinite machinery of cause and effect to serve you. Now I will give you the greatest secret of all. Faith and gratitude are one substance. Gratitude is faith after it has understood itself. When you thank infinite intelligence before receiving, you prove that you have already received in mind. And the law, being exact, must complete the form. Therefore, end every prayer, every plan, every day with gratitude. Whisper quietly, I am thankful that my faith is already fulfilled. You will feel a peace descend upon you, not from outside, but from within. That peace is proof that creation is finished in spirit. When faith becomes natural, miracles become normal. You will act with calm decisiveness. You will speak with quiet authority. You will walk with assurance that every step is guided. And the world, seeing your certainty, will assume you know something it does not, and you will. You will know that faith, once planted, never fails. Let these words become your constant meditation. I believe without proof, for faith itself is proof. My results appear in divine sequence. I no longer hope. I know. I am calm. I am guided. I am certain. And when you have lived this truth long enough, when faith has become your nature and certainty your breath, you will awaken one morning to find that the invisible has become visible, the dream tangible, and the word made flesh. Then you will understand that success was never something to seek. It was something to trust. And from that day forward, you will walk as one who commands law through the quiet power of belief. For faith, when perfected, is not effort. It is peace. Part 7, the quiet harvest. When law becomes life, there comes a sacred hour in the life of every man who has worked faithfully with the law, the moment when he no longer hopes for proof, because proof surrounds him. He no longer asks if the law works, for his life itself has become its demonstration. This is the hour of quiet harvest. It arrives not with trumpet or thunder, but with silence, the same silence that began the journey. You will not wake one morning to lightning flashing and wealth falling at your door. You will wake to a deeper calm, a sense that everything is already ordered, that you are being carried by rhythm rather than force. You will look around and realize that opportunities now come to you with ease, that men listen when you speak, that peace has replaced the struggle that once haunted you. That is law made visible. When the law has matured within, life becomes simple. You stop chasing results because you know results are only reflections. You stop explaining your vision because you understand that silence protects creation. You stop seeking approval because you are anchored in your own certainty. You have learned the language of power, calmness, gratitude, and quiet conviction. Say softly within yourself, I am at peace with prosperity. I no longer chase. I attract. I no longer beg. I allow. These words are not ambition. They are remembrance. For man's natural state is abundance. Scarcity was taught to you by fear. Prosperity is restored to you by faith. In the beginning, you planted faith in silence. You watered it through repetition, protected it from doubt, and nourished it with discipline. Now the tree bears fruit, not because of sudden luck, but because of steady obedience. Every harvest is silent, for the farmer does not shout the seed into growth. He labors in faith, waits in order, and gathers in gratitude. Let your success be the same. Do not announce it, explain it, or justify it. Those who are not ready will not understand, and those who are ready will not need words. Your peace will testify louder than speech. The light of your results will illuminate without noise. When others ask what changed, you may simply smile and say, I began to obey the law. The quiet harvest begins with recognition. You will begin to notice the harmony of events, meetings that seem guided, ideas that come at the exact hour of need, resources that appear precisely on time. This precision is no accident. It is law responding to organized thought. You have aligned your rhythm with the universal order, and now everything that belongs to you arrives without haste or delay. Say inwardly, everything I require moves toward me in perfect time and sequence. That thought is an acknowledgement of law. Infinite intelligence is never late, never hurried. Delay does not mean denial, it means refinement. You are not waiting on the law. The law is perfecting its delivery to your level of readiness. There is a great difference between the man who receives through law and the man who receives through luck. The lucky man gains what he cannot keep, for he did not grow to deserve it. The lawful man keeps what he receives because it matches his consciousness. If wealth comes before wisdom, it destroys. If wisdom precedes wealth, it multiplies. Therefore, be grateful for every season of preparation, for it guarantees permanence of reward. As you harvest, remember this: the law of increase never stops. Today's harvest is tomorrow's seed. The wise do not consume all their gain. They reinvest it in service, in faith, in the continued circulation of good. The moment you stop giving, you begin decaying. Prosperity is not a prize to possess. It is a river to keep flowing. Say quietly, my wealth serves life. My increase blesses others. My prosperity circulates and returns multiplied. These words are your protection against pride. The man who believes he owns his riches soon loses them. The man who knows he stewards them is entrusted with more. Infinite intelligence rewards humility, because humility keeps the channel open. As your world becomes richer, you must remain inwardly still. Do not mistake movement for progress or noise for power. The law works in silence, and so must you. The world will call you fortunate, but you will know that fortune is merely faith fulfilled. When you walk through your days with calm purpose, others will feel a strange assurance in your presence. They may not know why they trust you, why they listen, why they feel uplifted after speaking with you. They are sensing the vibration of order, the invisible music of law that plays through a mind at peace. That harmony cannot be faked. It must be earned. You will see that prosperity has little to do with coins and much to do with consciousness. Money, position, and recognition will follow naturally, but they will no longer rule you. You will understand what few ever learn, and that peace is the highest form of wealth. The man who sleeps soundly, works gladly, and gives freely has mastered both matter and mind. Say softly, my peace is my wealth, my calm is my crown. When you repeat these words, you remind yourself that material success without spiritual order is poverty in disguise. The world may see luxury, you will see dependency. True prosperity is independence from fear, and that independence can be achieved with or without money. When the law becomes life, your actions will no longer feel forced. You will not labor for outcomes. You will express law through every decision. Your speech will carry authority, not from volume, but from alignment. Your hands will seem guided by invisible intelligence. You will sense when to move and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain silent. Each gesture will have purpose, for confusion cannot exist in a disciplined mind. In this stage, repetition is no longer practice, it is prayer. You will continue your affirmations, not to convince, but to maintain harmony. They will become the rhythm of your days, the quiet heartbeat of creation within you. Each morning, each evening, you will silently say, the law works through me continually, quietly, perfectly. The greatest men I have known lived this way. Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Lincoln, their outer achievements were only symbols of inner discipline. Each of them mastered silence. They thought deeply, spoke little, and acted decisively. They understood that power gathers in stillness, that wisdom requires solitude. The crowd chases noise. The master listens to the quiet voice of law. That same voice speaks within you now. It is the whisper of infinite intelligence saying, be still and know. Be still, not idle, but certain. Know, not with intellect, but with realization. When you reach that state, every question dissolves. You cease wondering how and begin knowing that. At this level, gratitude becomes your constant atmosphere. You will find yourself thanking life for things not yet seen because you feel their certainty long before they appear. Gratitude is not reaction, it is recognition. It is the soul saying, I already possess in spirit what others still seek in form. Say now gently, I am grateful before I receive, for I already have. I am thankful in advance, for law has fulfilled in the unseen. Such thanksgiving is the highest act of faith. It seals the circuit between idea and result. When you live in gratitude, the law can never withhold, because gratitude announces readiness. Your success, now steady and sure, will begin to influence others, not through instruction, but through vibration. You will find that those around you are calmer, kinder, more inspired. Without realizing it, you have become a transmitter of faith. Infinite intelligence works through you as example, not sermon. Do not interrupt that process by boasting or seeking converts. The silent demonstration of principle changes more lives than 1,000 speeches. When others ask the secret of your peace, smile and say, I learned to think in order. That is enough. The law needs no advertisement. Truth speaks for itself. As the months pass, your prosperity will become natural, no longer a surprise, but a condition. You will wonder how you ever lived in fear of lack. You will realize that abundance was never something you had to chase. It was the natural reflection of an organized mind. The anxiety that once accompanied each bill or challenge will fade, replaced by calm assurance. All supply flows to me from infinite intelligence in perfect time. When the law becomes life, you will understand that there are no small acts. Each word, each thought, each gesture is a seed. You will handle everything with care, not fear, but reverence. You will speak less of what you need and more of what you can give. You will notice that what you give always returns larger because the channel of increase cannot remain one way. Say softly, I give peace, and peace returns multiplied. I give faith, and faith surrounds me. I give increase, and increase flows back. These affirmations are not ritual. They are recognition of motion. You are now part of the circulation that sustains creation itself. The quiet harvest also brings humility. You will see that every success was not truly yours alone, but the expression of law through you. You were the instrument, not the source. This realization removes all pride and replaces it with reverence. You will treat wealth as sacred trust, power as stewardship, and influence as responsibility. Lincoln understood this. When victory came, he did not boast of strength. He thanked Providence. His greatness was not in conquest, but in humility. The awareness that he was servant of a power higher than his will. That same humility must guide you, for pride closes what faith opens. You will encounter moments when others cannot understand your calm. They will rush, complain, or boast, trying to pull you into their storm. But you will remain centered, for you have learned that the storm outside cannot touch the peace within. You will move through noise as a ship through still water, undisturbed, directed, and certain of destination. Say within, silence keeps me strong. Gratitude keeps me rich. These words are armor against distraction. They remind you that every true gain begins and ends in quiet order. As you continue this practice, something beautiful will occur. You will find joy and simplicity in small moments, in daily routines, in ordinary acts. That joy is prosperity of the soul. When the heart delights in stillness, abundance becomes inevitable. The man who enjoys peace is already richer than the one who owns the world yet fears tomorrow. Soon others will speak of you in reverent tones. They will say, there is something different about him. He moves without haste, yet everything prospers in his hands. They will feel your certainty as presence. They will trust you, follow you, and find comfort in your steadiness. But you will not take credit. You will know that they are only feeling the reflection of the law made flesh. When you reach this stage, the line between effort and grace disappears. You act and things happen. You speak and people respond. You decide and circumstances align. Not because of luck, but because your vibration commands cooperation. You have become one with law. Say quietly, the law works through me continually, quietly, perfectly. I am the expression of order, and all I touch prospers. This affirmation is not imagination. It is identification. You no longer work with the law. You are the law in operation. The branch does not struggle to bear fruit. It simply abides in the vine. So too will your life flow effortlessly once you realize your unity with the infinite. This is mastery, not of others, but of self. The quiet harvest is not a moment of celebration, but of realization. You will understand that the purpose of prosperity is not accumulation, but revelation, to prove that man, made in the image of infinite intelligence, can create as infinite intelligence creates, through order, peace, and faith. You will see that the greatest wealth is freedom, freedom from fear, from worry, from dependence on chance. You will walk as one liberated from the tyranny of appearances. You will live by unseen law, and the world will bend around your certainty. At last, you will understand the full circle: silence, faith, action, service, gratitude, peace. These are not steps, but states, the eternal rhythm of creation. You began your journey by listening in stillness, and you end it the same way. Still listening, still silent, but now aware that silence itself is the voice of power. So before you close your eyes tonight, rest in quiet joy. Say within yourself, I am at peace with prosperity. The law works through me. My silence is strength. My gratitude is wealth. My faith is fulfillment. Let the words sink beyond thought into knowing. Let them move through your breath, your heartbeat, your sleep. And when morning comes, you will not need to remind yourself to act in faith. You will simply live it. For the law, once obeyed long enough, becomes nature. Then you will smile, not proudly but softly, and say, it is finished.